Good morning, Kitchissippi. It is Sunday, April the 14th, and this is a video version of the weekly ward newsletter, number 386. It is mercifully brief this week, so we'll jump right in. First, I'll note that I have pop-up office hours on Tuesday, April the 16th. Those will be from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the bridgehead that is at the corner of Fairmont and Wellington. Pop-up office hours are an opportunity to come by anytime during those hours. Chat with me one-on-one without appointment about whatever is on your mind. A couple of meetings of the Committee of Adjustment for which we have agenda items are coming up. The first of those is on April the 17th, that's Wednesday. A couple of Kitchissippi files on there. At 398 406 Roosevelt, as I noted last week, the owner has reworked the original plans. That's going to be an apartment building now, a rental, and they've added more units. They are seeking a variance from the Committee of Adjustment to be allowed to have fewer parking spots than the zoning allows. The staff comments are now appended to the report online. Staff have expressed no concern. At 72 Armstrong, the owner is seeking variances as part of a proposed conversion of a 3-unit triplex into a 5-unit low-rise apartment building. They're seeking a number of variances associated with that one. City staff in the appended planning report have expressed no concerns. The hearing is going to resume at 370 Athlone, where the owner is seeking permission for an increased number of units, reduced parking, rear and interior side yard for a 3-story, 16-unit low-rise apartment building. City staff have expressed concerns in the report appended to that item on the agenda, particularly around a ramp, an accessibility ramp that is to be at the front of the building, and also about the proximity of some of those balconies to the rear yard garbage storage area. And the hearing is going to resume for permission to subdivide 304 Fairmont. There are no particular development plans for that right now, but the owner is seeking to subdivide in anticipation of a future development. City planning staff have expressed in the appended report no concerns. On May 1st, we don't have staff comments on these yet, but the panel 1 will hear 2 applications in Kitchissippi. At 266 and 268 Carruthers, 177 Armstrong, the owner is seeking to subdivide the property as it prepares to build the low-rise apartment building that was approved recently by council. And at 756 Scott, the owners are seeking permission for a reduced rear yard setback and rear yard area for the construction of a 2-story addition at the rear of the existing detached dwelling. My understanding is that that 2-story addition would be used to add some additional secondary dwelling units. I also have the one decision from the April 3rd meeting. The application at 182 Daniel was refused as the committee accepted the forester's report that could have been designed differently in order to preserve a mature bur oak that is in the rear yard. That is within its appeal period right now. Just a reminder from previous newsletter, over the last year, the city's parking services staff have been doing a parking study of Kitchissippi. I am virtually certain that they will recommend the implementation of paid parking on Richmond, Somerset, Wellington. It sounds like they're thinking about recommending paid parking on Churchill from Byron to Scott as well, or possibly from Richmond to Scott as well. There are 2 open houses coming up at which residents can ask questions about that plan on Saturday, April the 20th at the Westboro Masonic Hall, as well as Monday, April the 22nd. That's going to be held at the Hintonburg Community Center. My newsletter has lots of links in order to get more information about those sessions and about the parking study overall. On June 1st, I and the community associations are hosting another community yard sale. That's going to be held with a June 2nd rain date. I have lots of information about that at kitchissippiward.ca. If you would like your location added to the map of participating locations, email me at jeff.leeper@ottawa.ca. I heard from residents and from people visiting that Google map is very helpful to people in directing folks to where participating household locations are. Also, just a reminder from the last newsletter, on May May the 1st, there will be an open house taking a look at the taking a look at the proposed designs for the rebuild of the two streets, Clare from Churchill through Hilson and Dovercourt from Churchill to Tweedsmuir. Come on out to the Dovercourt Recreation Centre on May the 1st to find out more about those rebuilds. I've got more details in the newsletter. Also, another note that I had a very successful Aging in Well workshop or forum last spring. I've been asked to do another one. This one will be focused on housing and is going to be held on April the 20th. This Friday, April the 19th. That's going to be at the Churchill Senior Centre. I have lots of information about what that is in the newsletter. We have speakers including former Ottawa Mayor Jackie Holtzman, MP Yasser Naqvi, MPP Joel Harden, along with Soul Sisters, who are a group of women who have managed to create a co-housing initiative for seniors here in the city. I think it'll be a fascinating afternoon. I'll have some free refreshments out. Please email my office if you'd like to register. We are registering a lot of people really quickly, according to Cody in my office, so that's great news. On April the 27th, I'm going to be a judge in the Showtunes Showdown competition that will be held at the Meridian Centre Point Theatre. That is always a ton of fun, extremely energetic evening, a Broadway musical competition with some really talented participants. I've got information about how you can buy tickets for that in the newsletter. Kippi United Church is holding its rummage sale on next Saturday, April the 20th, from 9 a.m. until noon. They've got jewelry, books, toys, household goods. There are going to be some great bargains. They hope to see you there. There is a Westboro Earth Day cleanup on Richmond Road, thanks to the Westboro Community Association, MEC, the City of Ottawa's Clean Up the Capital Initiative, as well as the Westboro Village BIA. They'll be hosting that cleanup on that's going to be, I believe, the following Saturday. I have details about what that is in the newsletter that I'll be putting out later this afternoon. So a big cleanup of Richmond Road, thanks to a number of community partners. Register, get some bags, and let's get Richmond spotless. The Parkdale United Church will be hosting its rummage sale on April the 27th. That's from 9 until noon. Again, lots of great items, including clothing, shoes, toys, linens, small appliances. Go by the rummage sale. Parking is limited, and please remember to bring your own reusable bag to bring your items home. Annie Patterson, a wonderful singer, is going to be headlining Gil's Hootenanny, which is going to be held on May 1st. That's the May 1st event. It's the May Day Sing-Along. That's going to be held at First Unitarian, starting at 7 p.m. I've got information in the newsletter about how you can get tickets for that. At City Hall, we've got a couple of committee and council meetings coming up. The Environment and Climate Change meeting is going to be meeting this Tuesday, April the 16th. They've got a relatively brief agenda, but the key item is going to be making the Rain Ready program permanent. The Rain Ready program assists homeowners to mitigate stormwater runoff on their lots by helping out financially with things like rain barrels, permeable pavers. Very popular program, oversubscribed is my understanding through the pilot period. They're proposing to extend the geography over which that program applies, as well as to make it permanent. I imagine that will pass fairly easily with my colleagues. And on Wednesday, April the 17th, City Council is going to meet. I expect most of the items will be passed, the recommendations that come out of the committee process. A couple of items on which I expect some further discussion. The Lansdowne 2.0 procurement process that was approved by the Finance Committee, I guess a couple of weeks ago, will be on the agenda. Of course, that is always a lot of discussion. I supported the procurement process process at the committee meeting. I anticipate that I will do so again at the council meeting. Again, that is just the procurement process. I've reserved my right to vote, as I did earlier at the Finance Committee and Council, against the overall Lansdowne proposal, but I do support the proceeding with the procurement as has been proposed by staff. Another item that I think will raise a little bit of discussion is Councillor Plante's motion that was recommended for approval by the Planning and Housing Committee with respect to asking staff to research the creation of a rental housing, affordable rental housing acquisition fund. We are losing a lot of affordable rental housing. A report that I brought to Planning and Housing Committee recently said, according to researcher Steve Pomeroy, we're losing something in the order of 31 units of affordable housing for every one that is built in the city right now. The best way to ensure affordable housing in the city is actually to preserve the stock that is already existing. I've been in a good place to be able to put some of our ward affordable housing dollars into the Ottawa Community Land Trust to make an acquisition, but relying on those developer benefits is not a sustainable path forward. Councillor Plante's motion would direct staff to start researching how to create an acquisition fund, do the environmental scan, look at some models. It's very good timing. The federal government has just announced a very large envelope of money to do rental housing acquisition. So I am hoping that that motion will pass, but it may engender a bit of discussion. Staff are concerned about the amount of work that might be on an already full plate. Other than that, I think the council agenda should be relatively uncontentious. There is one item that gives me a bit of pause, which is a motion that's being brought by councillors Hill and Brown to explore a pilot project or to explore a structure for how private plow operators might be allowed to do some of the road plowing in some of the areas of the city. We hear a lot about the frustration of the private driveway plow operators about their difficulties when the roads aren't plowed. Councillors Hill and Brown are suggesting they could be a part of the solution of getting the roads cleared so that they can do their job of clearing driveways. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with the notion of outsourcing city work. I think that city services should be supplied and performed by city workers. So we'll take a look at how that debate goes. Stay tuned for that City Council meeting that will be on this Wednesday. And at the Community Services Committee, it's going to meet on April the 23rd. The substantive item on the agenda is permission to spend $250,000 out of the city's cash in lieu of Parkland Fund to study some engineering options, some design options for reopening the north side of the Mooney's Bay Toboggan Hill. You may know that the Toboggan Hill has been closed due to safety considerations. There have been some tragic incidents on that hill. I know residents in the area, the local councillor, are very keen to see that reopened, but reopened safely. And so there will be a discussion at the Community Services Committee about spending some of the cash in lieu dollars to study some design options to get that reopened. In addition to those meetings, the Board of Health is going to meet tomorrow, April 15th, and the Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting will be held on April the 16th. Kitchissippi, again, a fairly brief newsletter. This will go out sometime later this afternoon or this evening. Get out. We have a short window by the look of it to enjoy some rain-free weekend. I note the mayor just ran by a little bit enjoying some of this nice weather for a run. I'm here at Champlain Park, where our depaved Pontiac is starting to show lots of signs of life. Volunteers have done an amazing job here maintaining a natural pollinator garden, native species garden, all kinds of bioswale work. It's an absolutely fascinating place. We need a lot more of it. I'm hoping to find one more depaving project by the end of this term of council. But whatever you do and however you want to get outside, I hope you do enjoy a little bit of it this weekend, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks for watching Kitchissippi. Until next time.